When it comes to morning routines, I've tried literally everything, from very long 2 to 3 hour morning routines to very simple biohacks. And right now I have completely nailed my morning routine, and I found one routine that always keeps me sharp, grounded, and fully productive throughout the whole day. And in this video, I'm going to share what that morning routine is, what my philosophy is when it comes to morning routines, all the experiences that I've had testing out different morning routines, and yeah, let's discuss it. So let's first kick off by discussing my philosophy when it comes to morning routines. When I was just starting out in my entrepreneurial journey, you go on YouTube and you see all of these people talk about you need to have a morning routine, you need to visualize, you need to do stretching, you need to drink water with Himalayan salt and some lemon, and you need to drink vinegar, and you need to do a gym, and there's so many things that you need to do. So as a rookie entrepreneur, I was completely indoctrinated by all of that. So I started to expand my routine, and I started to add more and more things to my routines. And yes, in the morning I felt like I was getting so much momentum by checking off all of these things in the morning. To give you an example, around 5-6 years ago, I had a 2.5 hour lasting morning routine. I would wake up, the first thing I would do is I would hydrate myself. I would drink a cup of water with Himalayan salt and lemon. Next, I would do some stretching, so 20 minutes of stretching. Then I would go to the gym. Then I would open up my journal. I would write down my goals. Then I would visualize. Next, I would eat oats with blueberries in it. And then I would start off the day. And this took 2.5 hours. And like I mentioned, in the beginning, it made me feel really good, really productive. It made me feel like I had a lot of momentum. But then I started to discover a few small cracks in my morning routine. For example, one morning, I was progressing throughout my morning routine, and I opened up the fridge and I realized I didn't have blueberries to put in my morning oats. And the whole day, I was off. I couldn't get into my work because I didn't have blueberries, which was part of my morning routine. And I believe that some people over-obsess by having super long morning routines, which give them a false sense of being productive and a false sense of momentum. Now, my philosophy is different. After 7 years of entrepreneurship, testing many different things, I almost approach this as a laboratory. When you're trying to make the perfect medicine, you're putting different compounds together in a test tube and you're testing it out in real life to see if it actually works. Well, that is what I've done too. And I came to the realization that simplicity and shorter morning routines beat long and complex morning routines. I believe if you want to make a lot of money, if you want to grow, then the most important thing that you need to do is you need to get to work. Most morning routines are almost like an excuse not to get to work in the morning. So I have designed this morning routine, which I'm going to share with you in a little bit. I've designed this morning routine to get to work as soon as possible and cutting out all of the useless stuff that didn't really bring me anything. So let's start off with the first thing that I do in the morning. So the first thing I do when I wake up is I go to my balcony, I sit down, and I drink a cup of coffee. I usually take around 15-20 minutes. I listen to a podcast and just try to wake up. I do believe caffeine, many people have something negative against caffeine. I believe there's a perfect level of caffeine that you can have in your body in order to stay fully productive. So I generally tend to drink one normal cup of coffee, black, in the morning, and the rest throughout the day. So I took this outside to show you. I always have a stack of decaf coffee because when I drink too much coffee throughout the day, my mind generally becomes very cluttery. I cannot think, I become anxious, my palms start to sweat, and it works the opposite way. But when I drink decaf coffee, I can almost drink infinite amounts of coffee just because I like the taste, and sort of I program my mind that when I want to become really productive, I have a cup of coffee, which you could argue is something good or bad. It brings me into work mode when I drink coffee, but also there is some mental dependency on coffee. But generally, wherever I go, I just either order coffee or I bring a few stacks of decaf coffee. One other thing, I also drink a lot of water. I usually drink sparkling water. I drink mostly bottled water. I believe there's some microplastics in all of the plastic bottles, so I try to avoid plastic bottles of water. There's one part of my house which is filled to the brim with just bottles of sparkling water, so I never run out. I drink quite a lot of water, usually 3-4 liters, maybe even more. And that's just an important component of how I start the day. There's another core principle which is important for my morning routine, which is I believe in minimizing decision-making fatigue. So when I studied successful people like Steve Jobs, I realized that Steve Jobs wears practically the same outfit every single day. So when you look at videos of Steve Jobs, you see him with the black turtleneck and the same pair of jeans. In the beginning, I thought this was strange because Steve Jobs is a billionaire, he has plenty of money. Why doesn't he just upgrade his wardrobe? In the end, I realized that he did it for a reason. You know, Steve Jobs understood that throughout the day you can only make 7 to 8 great decisions. Most people, when they wake up, one of the first decisions they make is, what am I going to wear today? So, and then the next decision that they're going to make is, what am I going to have for breakfast? So those are 2 decisions which you can easily eliminate from your morning so that you can have more brain power, more decision-making capacity left for the rest of the day. So I don't really have many different outfits. When you look at my videos, my pictures, you generally see me in similar types of t-shirts or shirts. It doesn't mean I only have one shirt. It means I have this shirt maybe 3 times or 4 times. That I have 5 black t-shirts, 5 white t-shirts, 5 blue shirts, 2 pair of white pants, 2 pair of black pants. I have a very simple wardrobe, and I just open it up and all of the things can be very easily matched together. Again, that's how I chose my clothing. Then the next thing that I do is I do intermittent fasting. What does intermittent fasting mean? I only eat during a certain time window. So I eat between 12 in the afternoon, so noon, and I eat before 9 p.m. So I have a 9-hour window through which I eat. This means that I usually skip breakfast, or I always skip breakfast. And this has a few different benefits. When you skip breakfast, there's no food in your stomach. When there's food in your stomach, your body is digesting and some of your energy goes into the digestion. So with a clear stomach, I'm usually a lot more focused. So I only drink a black coffee and a decaf coffee in the morning, and I am a lot more productive this way. It also has some benefits for weight loss. So if you only eat during a certain time window, your body is also burning more calories throughout the periods when you're not eating. There's a book called My Shredded Lifestyle. It talks all about intermittent fasting, and it gives the science behind intermittent fasting, why it's good for focus and why it is good for productivity and weight loss. So if you're interested in checking that out, that's one of the books that I read. Now let's quickly talk about work environment. So I moved to Bali around a little bit more than a year ago. In the beginning, I was working in different co-working spaces, different cafes, and yeah, that's what people on YouTube say, on social media say, I've got the freedom to work everywhere and anywhere. And although that might sound great, for me, it became a nightmare because the internet was terrible at some places. There was no decaf coffee at other places. And when I wanted to do a meeting, there was music in the background or people talking behind me. And there were a lot of factors impacting my actual focus and productivity. So instead, I decided to build my perfect work setup at home. So I know that the moment I walk down the stairs and I enter my living room, I've got my desk set up, I've got my monitor set up, and my brain knows now it's time to be productive. So there's no distractions over here. It's just me, my laptop, my monitors, and my work, and I just need to get to work. There is a 5-minute routine that I do before I actually go to work, which is I just shortly close my eyes and I do a few things. Number one, I think of 3 things that I'm grateful for. Why do I do this? Because in entrepreneurship and investing, it goes with ups and downs. And when everything is going up, of course it's great. It's great for your ego, for your happiness, for your own validation. But when you're going through a rough time, gratitude is what keeps me positive. So I focus on saying 3 things that I'm grateful for. The next thing that I do is I do a short prayer. It's very simple. I thank God for everything I have. I do a quick prayer for the people, my loved ones, people that I care about. And then finally, I do a quick prayer for myself, my future. And then I open my eyes and it's time to get to work. In Bali, I have a little bit of an advantage. I am 6 to 7 hours ahead of my team. A lot of my team members are based in the Netherlands. I also have team members in the Philippines, in Canada, and the US, but the bulk is based in the Netherlands. And I'm 6 to 7 hours ahead of them. So that means that in the morning, I have 6 to 7 hours of uninterrupted work time before anyone else wakes up and distracts me. So what do I generally do? I open up my computer, and the first thing I do is I go through Slack, which is our company messaging environment, and I check what is the work that has been done yesterday, what are any open questions or obstacles that I can answer or help my team to overcome so that they can continue their work. As a CEO of a company, I think my role is to enable my team members. I just always need to zoom out and I need to make sure that there's nothing holding them back from actually doing what they need to do. That's my only job. So that's what I do. Then I open up my email. Usually this has some communication with customers. So I see if there's any important communication that I'm missing. Also in terms of bookkeeping or finances, payments that I need to catch up on. Once I have a clear understanding of the current status of my business, my team, the next thing I do is I take 20-30 minutes and I open my phone and I go through X. So I really love X. I think X is an amazing platform because I don't believe in the mass media anymore. I have stopped following the news, I think, for the past 10 years because I believe that the mass media doesn't always give the objective reality. In fact, they have a hidden agenda which they often force upon their viewers, which I don't want to become part of. Whereas on X, you actually see a lot of individual reporters or entrepreneurs or investors that are actually sharing what is going on in the world. So I spend 20 minutes going through X, and this helps me to stay informed about everything that's happening in the world and any potential opportunities that I can capitalize on. When that is done, I do a good 3 to 4 hours of deep work. I drink another decaf coffee and I just grind it out. Whatever needs to be done, I do it. No excuses. So with a morning routine of 30 to 60 minutes, that's all. I hit the floor running and I ultimately get to work as soon as possible. Like I mentioned, I believe simplicity is the most important thing. I don't believe in long morning routines, and I believe that the most important thing is just to do the work. Now, after doing 3 hours of deep work, it's time for lunch, and I want to show you guys what I usually have for lunch. So let's go outside. So this is usually my lunch. There's a really good butcher over here called Meat Emporium. You can get really nice grass-fed steaks. And I just turned 32. And when I turned 32, I called my mom and I told her that I made an investment, or I bought something that I was really excited about, which 10 years ago, if I would talk about this, I wouldn't give a shit. So the thing I recently bought was a gas barbecue. And in retrospect, now I think I should have just bought it way earlier because it's so easy to prepare a good piece of meat when you have a gas barbecue. Literally, like 5 minutes before you want to start cooking, you just turn up the heat of the barbecue, it starts to preheat. You take a piece of meat, you put some olive oil on both sides, you season it with some salt, and you put some oregano on it. That's it. So next, you put it on the grill. Let me do it right now. Put it on the grill. And then all you need to do is wait 3 to 4 minutes for each side, and then you're done. So basically within 10 minutes, you could be cooking a delicious steak. So yes, a lot of people on social media are talking about how they have a chef or how they order everything, how they get everything delivered. But for me, this is no effort. Actually, I normally put on a podcast. I listen to a nice podcast. I prepare some meat. Then I take a nice 15 to 20 minutes to eat it. And then within 30 minutes, I had my nice, delicious lunch. And then the rest of the afternoon, I have my meetings because that's when the rest of my team wakes up, when my clients wake up. And at around 6, 7 in the evening, I usually go to the gym, go to the sauna, relax, and that's the end of my day. So I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. Let me know in the comments below what do you think of my morning routine? What do you think of my philosophy about morning routines? And are there any things that you are going to implement in your own routine as well? That being said, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be posting videos regularly like this one, and that way you won't miss out on any of those. Peace out, see you in the next video. Take care.